Hello, Blender besties. I'm back. Did you miss me? I missed you. Okay, for this class, we chose Pretty in Pink and Petunia Pop. These are two colors from our in colors that are currently available. I wanted like a winter vibe for this class because a lot of us are getting snow, it's cold. It just made sense to my brain. So I sent you snowflakes, a snow globe, and a winter scene. Now for this, I really am interested to see what you guys do with it because in my brain, I haven't colored it yet, but I'm thinking that with that knitting, we could really play with our colors and do something special. So when you get this done, please post it because I would love to see what you came up with. Now, for these two, typically you wouldn't think pink and purple to color them, but let me show you what I came up with. Here's the snowflake. Oop, put it here. You see that coloring and all that, you know, those light, cool colors just pop. And then look at this. I'm obsessed. Okay, so what I want you to do to prepare to color is go through your blends. We're looking for light colors, okay? So if you have Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, Peach Pie, definitely pull those out because I'm going to be using those today. I also pulled in Lemon Lolly, but if you just have the colors that we've done during our classes, you're going to have at least Daffodil Delight. You're going to have Pumpkin Pie. You might want to try that one, but you might want to leave that out. It's kind of dark. But I was going for kind of the whole rainbow effect. You could use Balmy Blue, would be beautiful. And one of your lighter greens, maybe even Old Olive. Now, if you're substituting colors, I really encourage you to get a swatch piece of paper and kind of do a little pass through to see how the colors look together before you actually put it on your project. But remember, I give you two, one to practice on, one for your finished project. So you could always just practice on your extra, okay? I'm excited. We're gonna get started. I'm gonna flip down, and when I get on the mat, I'll tell you all the details, okay? Here we go. Okay, for this coloring project, I just brought in the colors I'm going to be using. So the Pretty in Pink, some Gray Granite, my Bronze and Ivory, and Summer Splash. I also am going to be using the white Jelly Roll pen. If you have one of these, you can use it, but if not, it's okay. Just, you can see on your colored image or your outline that there are snowflakes kind of drifting in there. Try to leave those white when you're coloring if you don't have a gel pen, or come up with a creative way to do that. Maybe a little wink of Stella would be really cute. Just see what you come up with. I'm going to start with the Pretty in Pink, and I'm going to come in on our rose. And I'm just going to lay some color down. You can see that some of the outlines for this rose aren't even there. They're very light. So just follow around where you think it should go. You could use your paintbrush tip for this part. I find it easier to just do my bullet tip. Now, even the parts that are pretty grayscale, go over them with your marker because you do get some color in there. It will be visible. And you know, looking at this, I just realized we're also going to need some green, like maybe your old olive, for the leaves. Okay, so I got a good coat of the light Pretty in Pink. Now I'm going to go in with the dark, and wherever the image is shaded, wherever that rose has some creases and shading, I'm just going to throw down some darker Pretty in Pink. And that's just going to give depth to our rose petals. Take your time, enjoy it. Doesn't this just remind you of Beauty and the Beast? When I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, I love that movie. Okay, there we go. For me, visually, that really made a difference. It made it pop. Okay, next, I'm gonna go ahead in with some light Summer Splash. But you could also use Balmy Blue for this. And I'm not worried about these snowflakes, but if you don't have a white gel pen, you can just go around them and leave them white. I'm going to do a combination of both. This will kind of help me identify where I need to put my white gel pen dots later on. Now, if you didn't want to do this with blue, I think a light gray might look really nice as well. Just to give you some options. Remember to be turning your page to get the best angle, the most comfortable angle for coloring and filling in those areas. So how's everybody doing? Are you staying warm? Are you working on goals? What's going on? I have been freezing my Petunia off in Vegas. It's been pretty cold. Well, cold for me. Probably not cold for you guys. But definitely we have had the heat on, which is unusual. Usually, well, not really unusual. And January is usually the month we run our heat. But we're supposed to be getting a little heat warm or a little heat burst coming up. It might hit 80 degrees next week, so we'll see. That's crazy to me. That's a little too fast. If we could just have it in the middle, guys, that would be great. Like a nice 75, I'd be cool with that. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with weather, but there we are. I just love it. So other than that, I've just been keeping busy, trying to come up with different things to offer for Stampin' Up and keep up with what I already have. Always got to be doing something, you know what I mean? Just something new and exciting. Okay. So I'm just going to come around and kind of try to smooth out my color a little bit. Let that chemical processing work. Fill in right here. Okay. If you go outside of the lines a little bit, it's okay because we're going to be cutting this out. So now I'm going to go in with my darker color. And just where it's shaded, I'm going to lay down some color. You don't have to color the whole thing. Just kind of let it blend and do its thing. And this is going to give it more depth. It's going to seem like it's popping off the page visually. See? Now here, that's a harsh line, and we don't want that. We want it to look seamless, like the glass is refracting the light. So I'm going to go back in with my light, and I'm just going to go over it to blend. Just soften up those lines and kind of feather it around. Go with the arc of where the glass would be bending. Okay. Better. I can see spots where, this is where that paintbrush tip really comes in to blend. Okay, what do we think? Does that look great? I'm pretty happy with it, I have to say. Okay. So now I'm going to go with my ivory, and I'm going to do the base. Just kind of follow the curve of your base. Now, again, where it is shadowed, where you have that shadow, we're going to grab our bronze and lightly add some low light. Bring in that color. You could also do this with gray, but I really like the way the bronze brought the warmth into the project. And then just a little bit, I'm going to feather it in through here. Go with the angle of your base. See? Now we're going to go back in and we're going to blend. So I'm just going to go over it. Okay. How is that, guys? I am so happy with the way this is all coming together. Can you see the vision? I know I can. All right, let's see. What do we got? I think I want a darker. Oh, it's a hard choice, guys. It's a hard choice. Let me see. I might use some shaded spruce for my leaves. Yeah, we'll try it. I'm using light shaded spruce. And I'm just adding some color. You might want to use Granny Apple, something a little bit lighter so it pops more. This is kind of dark, but you can see on this one, I think I used the Granny Apple. And I'm not really going to do much, just color it in. Okay, so there we have our leaves. Now I'm going to take my gray granite in light, and I'm just going to give a little bit of shading where they've already got it. Not a lot, you don't want a lot, but it's going to help. It's going to help just give that a little bit of definition. You don't want to overdo it though. So you could actually leave that out. If you don't have any gray, you can just leave it out. Okay, so for the final step on this project, I'm going to go in with my white gel pen. I'm just gonna dot, just act like the snow globe is snowing, you know? Now, I don't know if you can see the little dots on camera, but in person, it's just that fine detail that just makes all the difference, in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut out my image, and when we come back, we're gonna make our card. See you in a few. Okay guys, so at this point you should have your snow globe colored and cut out. Now let's get into our card packet and pull out a piece of our pretty pink cardstock and two white 5 1/4 by 4 pieces of cardstock. Now I decided I was going to emboss one of those. And to do that, I used the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder, but you can leave it blank or use any embossing folder you would like for your project. This is going to be super easy, excuse me, to put together. I have basically just done note cards this time so that I could write what I wanted in there, but certainly you could put a sentiment or add something to your project. Now, I found this just on my desk, a scrap, so I decided to use it on the inside of my card. If you have a scrap that you think would look good, use it. Throw it on your project. Oh, I don't know what happened. I turned on the camera and got a frog in my throat. Here we go. So I'm just going to put my note card in there. And the inside is done. Let me give this a good crease down. There we go. And now, before I attach this, I want to play with the shadow underneath my snow globe. So in the picture, the light's coming this way, and you can see they put their shadow heavy to the side, which is good. That works. But when I did it, I just went ahead and ran my gray granite on the bottom and kind of rounded the edges, and that worked for me. Depends on how technical you want to get with your shadow. I'm going to grab the gray granite and I'm just going to start kind of like that. Now I'm going to put my piece down, make sure it's centered, and see where I want more. You know? So that's straight. Oh, that's a little crooked. So I'm going to come out just a little bit more. Like that. Okay? So that's how I did it, but you do what you think looks best. And if you don't like the shadow, you can leave that out, certainly. Another thing I did was just popped it up. Now we do have dimension from our embossment. So if you're mailing this and you don't want it to be too thick, just glue it right down. But I don't know why, to my brain and eyes, when I did this, it just gave it, I just felt like it had that 3D feeling, you know? So that's what we're working with. That's what we're going with. And there you go. Okay, so let me place this back down. About like that. Perfect. Okay, now I can stick it on my project. And I'm going to use some liquid glue for this, just so it's really sealed down nicely. And it gives me some wiggle room to get that piece right where I want it. Okay. Look at how quick this card's coming together. The last thing we have to do is take those in color sparkle gems that I sent you and kind of dot them around the project. Now for this card, I just went in with the blues and greens, but you could choose whatever colors you would like and just put them where you think they should live. Mine were a little bit symmetrical here, but I'm not fussed by it. I think I'm just going to put one down there. Okay, so there is our first finished project. Join me back for video 2 for our next project.